Yeah, the next topic is industrial control technologies in automation. So we have seen the implementation of automation, the various elements of automated systems. So going a step further, we will see how these control technologies are implemented so that the automation function happens more smoothly in the industrial scenarios. So industrial control is defined as the automatic regulation of unit operations and their associated equipment, as well as the integration and coordination of unit operations into larger production system. Here the keywords are automatic regulation, which means whenever we say industry, some activity is happening which is called as a process. So the process will have certain parameters which need to be controlled. So that is the automatic regulation. Unit operations are the individual processes that are happening and their associated equipment. You have to control the process as well as the various elements that are present in the equipment. For example, if you are taking the case of a CNC machine, you may want to control the speed, feed and depth of cut. But in order to control that, you may have to actually control the speed of the various motors or speed of the hydraulic pump or the power that is coming into the electrical motor. Then the next keyword is integration and coordination. So whenever we say automated system, it does not only include only one machine. Several machines may be combined together by using certain material handling equipment. So all these things have to function in a smooth fashion, that is integration and coordination. If they are not coordinated, then there will be wastage of time, there will be damage to the workpiece because of unnecessary movements that are happening into the larger production system. So the production system is what we are trying to automate, and the control systems will help us in ensuring the system is properly functioning. So as discussed, unit operations refer to the manufacturing operations or basically the process in case of the control system. The term also applies to the operation of material handling and other industrial equipment. So whatever activity has to be controlled, we will consider it as a unit operation. So control system is dependent on the type of industries where it is being applied. So before we go into the detail of the different types of control systems, we have to understand what are the different types of industries that are commonly present. So the first type is the process industry. Process industries perform their production operations on amounts of material because the materials tend to be liquid, gases, powders and similar materials. So whenever we say amounts of materials, the end product is measured in weight or maybe in terms of volume and not individual pieces. So we cannot say I want 1 gas. It is not possible. We will say 1 liter of gas. So in that 1 liter of gas, there is going to be some amount of material which is present. Or we can say 1 kg of powder. If you are taking plastic, it will come in the form of pellets. Again we will say 1 kg of pellets, or we can say 1 ton of pellets. But the individual pellet itself is not a material of importance. That entire 1 kg or 1 ton is of importance. So the examples of unit operations are cement production, you can have chemical industries, you can have distilleries, refineries, etc. So all these are examples of process industries where the output product is measured in terms of weight or in terms of the volume. But the second type of industry is a discrete manufacturing industries, and they perform their operations on quantities of materials because the materials tend to be discrete parts and products. So unlike the previous case where it was amount, that means we are describing it in terms of weight or volume, here we are describing it in terms of quantities, maybe 10 pieces, 50 pieces, 100 pieces, or 1,000 pieces, or maybe even million pieces. That is how it is being described. If you take the example of the casting, it will be a particular casted component. Even though it may be a small or something, we can individually identify each and every component. But it is not possible in case of the cement production because individual powder is not having any value. But the end product of a process industry may be measured as individual bags. That is also possible. The end product of discrete manufacturing industries can be measured in terms of kgs. For example, if we are talking about nails, individual nails can be measured. We can say 5 nails, 6 nails. But if you are purchasing in large numbers, it may be 1 kg of nails or it may be 100 kgs of nails. So what are the examples of unit operations? You can have casting, you can have forging, you are having machining, and you are having assembly operation. So whenever we say discrete manufacturing industry, the output whatever is coming out, it should be in numbers. If you are able to define in terms of numbers, then it is discrete. If it is defined in terms of weight or it may be defined in terms of volume, then definitely it is a process industry. If it is in terms of single pieces which can be separately identified, it is a discrete manufacturing industry. These are the two main types of industries, and the control system that is needed in both of these are entirely different. Before we see why the difference is there, we'll try to understand what are the differences that are present in the functioning of these particular industries. So we are having process industry and we are having discrete manufacturing industry. So the main difference will come with respect to the automation. So if you are starting from the device level up to the corporate level, you are having totally 5 stages of automation. So basically, if you see at the top, the corporate level automation is not much of a difference whether it is process industry or discrete manufacturing industry, because the corporate level of automation is majorly concerned with the information flow, business activities, marketing, dealing with the customer. So you are not doing anything with the actual production. Next one is below it is the plant level automation. There also you are not actually producing anything. There the automation is again mainly related to the information flow. You will be having tasks like scheduling, follow-up, planning, control, then reports about the efficiencies, utilization, and all these things. So there also the automation is not much of a difference in both the industries. If you come to the device level, the kind of equipments that are used are completely different. So in case of the process industries, you may be having some large chambers in which you are trying to heat up or you are trying to pressurize things to get the proper chemical reaction or some other activity to happen. So the sensors will be pressure sensors, it may be temperature sensors. In case of the discrete manufacturing, you may be having a furnace. You are melting the metal and then you are pouring the metal into individual castings. Or you may be having different types of CNC machines. So there the required control is different. So at the device level, the sensors and actuators, the sensors you may be using may be temperature, pressure, and other items. If you are going for the discrete manufacturing system, if you are having for example, a CNC machine, you may be more worried about the speed or feed. Then if you are going for one level higher level of automation, you are more worried about how exactly the chemical reactions are happening, whether the fluid is reaching the required temperature or not, whether you have to increase the power. So all these things is what you are going to be interested in. In case of the CNC machine, you will be worried about the overall functioning of the CNC machine. If you go one step higher, in case of the process industries, you will be worried about the movement of the material from one station to another station, whether you have to open the particular walls or what kind of systems you have to use. In case of the discrete manufacturing cell, you will be worried about how exactly to move the component, whether you have to use a robot, whether you have to use a conveyor, how exactly to control them. So basically the process industry and discrete manufacturing industry, at the lower levels of automation there is a significant difference, and at higher levels of automation there is not much of a difference. So the next comparison will be the variables and parameters that are used in the two industries. So parameters are the inputs that are given and variables are the value that you are measuring. So whatever your measure parameters you are giving, they can be either continuous or they can be discrete. Again, in discrete you are having two types: discrete binary or discrete variable other than binary. Then you can have the pulsed data. So from the graph you can see, so this is a process that has to take place. So here you are having the time, here the value is there for the variable or the parameter. So parameter is on the input side, where variable is on the output side of that particular process. You can say continuous variable, or you can also call it the analog variable. It will be having some continuous values over a period of time. So at any point you can see it will be having a particular value. The next one is a discrete binary variable. So whenever we say binary variable, you can have either 0 or 1, or the input is given or the input is not given, or the output is present, output is not present. So that is the binary. Only two states are possible. At the parameter level you can switch on the coolant or you can switch off the coolant, or you can have a workpiece or you may not have the workpiece. At the output side you can say the process is completed, process is not completed, the temperature is within range, temperature is out of range. So all these things are discrete binary. So which means the variable or the value what you are trying to measure or what you are trying to control can have only two states, that is 0 or 1. Then something called as discrete variable other than binary. So here this variable can have more than two levels, but it is not again a continuous one. It will be having some fixed levels. So the easiest example what we can say is on the input side will be the fan regulator. You can see in the earlier models you used to have only 5 levels, 0, then you are having 1, 2, 3 and 4, where 4 is the maximum, or you can have up to 5 where 5 is the maximum, 0 means it is off. So 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. In between it is not possible. So only you are having distinct levels. Nowadays you are having new types of regulators where you can continuously rotate it. So if you are giving input using such a device, then you will get something called as continuous. If you are giving the older type of system, that will be the discrete. If you don't have any regulator, it will be a binary, because the fan can be either on or it can be off. So you are having continuous, you are having discrete, you are having discrete variable other than binary. So other than binary means there are more than two states possible, low or high, and then in between you are having several stages. If you are taking the example Some other example, a valve opening can also be there, or the voltage output can also be considered in the same level. For example, the voltage ranges is from 0 to 10 and you are dividing it into 3 zones of 2.5 volts each. Then you are having 0, then your next level will be 2.5, next will be 5, 7.5, and then you are having the 10. So either you can give 2.5, either you can give 5, either you can give 7.5, or the last one is a 10. So that is a discrete. So in between values it is not possible to achieve. So what is the difference we can see? So in case of the continuous variable, there is no limitation what value it can get along the y-axis or what value it can take. But whenever we say binary, discrete binary, other discrete variable, whenever we say a discrete variable, there is certain limitations regarding the values it can take. The next type of data is the pulsed data, which means the information whatever we are getting or whatever we are giving, it is in the form of pulses. So the variable will take up a value for a certain period of time and that is repeated. That will be called as a pulse. So what we can do with these pulses, if it is a voltage and if it is over a time, then you can give these pulses to control the speed of the motor. So there are different methodologies available for controlling the speed of motor. Or you can get the signals, you can use the counting, you can count the number of pulses and you can say what is the speed. So various applications are available for each of these data. Now in a given industry, what type of data is used? There is no hard and fast rule that only a particular type of variables are used in a particular industry. Nowadays, with the possibility of converting continuous variables into discrete into continuous, so all types of parameters and variables are used, but generally speaking, continuous variables are more commonly available in process industries. Discrete variables are commonly used in the discrete manufacturing industries. So now the question is whether pulsed data is continuous or it is discrete. It is a special case of discrete variable because it cannot take a continuous values. The value it can take is only limited. The number of pulses that can be generated may also be limited.